From the moment I wake up, there's melodies and chord progressions in my head. It's funny because I really end up hating everything I do anyway. I maybe make like 1 or 2 beats a year where I could go back and be like, yeah, that's the one. I think this is actually one of them.
Only way to sign is Esketit. Hopping out the rave for Esketit. Smashing on your bitch, Esketit. Run to the check with no limit. Popping on X, popping on X, popping on X. Chills. Got a new car, got a new bitch, and I got a new deal.
I linked with Pump through his manager. Shout out Dooney. Dooney knows how to put together a winning situation, so he called me up and said, hey, you got to fly out to Miami. We were in the Dream Hotel. Pump was on the top floor of the penthouse, so it was a really dope room he had. Pump has a lot of producers he works with, so we're pulling up MP3s out the email, knocking out the songs, getting comfortable recording in the hotel suite. We ran out of beats, basically, and I was like, Pump, we should start making our own beats. The first beat we made ended up being ESKEETIT, and the rest is history. The beat is really simple. There's really only 7 sounds in it, basically very stock Fruity Loop sounds. I didn't have much installed on this computer. The main sound, it's a bass sound in the stock Nexus banks. I was flying through sounds. He's like, yeah, that's the sound. I ended up tweaking it out a little bit. I turned up the release and then turned on this poly switch to kind of make it bend. That was basically the melody that put the whole beat together. So once we laid down the bass line here, I moved on to the 808. The 808 pattern, something like this. It was just a stock standard 808 that everyone has, everyone uses. So after we laid down the bass in the 808, the next thing I put in was probably the clap. Definitely nothing special at all, just a clap where it's supposed to be. The hi-hat pattern is gonna dictate the bounce of the beat. It's gonna really glue everything together. I think I did something like this. With these 4 sounds here, this is like the whole bounce, the heart and soul of the record. Something was missing to me. It just needed one more musical element. Instead of like picking a weird synth sound or something like that, like I would pick a piano, find a melody on the piano, and then maybe change the sound out afterwards. But I just ended up leaving the piano anyway. Something like that to just complement the bass. And this is a terrible sounding piano. Everybody knows it. It's just the FL keys. If I would have used like a really nice sounding Omnisphere or Contact or something like that, it would have really been too much. The shittiness of this piano kind of makes everything work. It almost sounds like a cartoon or something. There's actually 2 more sounds that went in the beat. One of them was this Strobot sound. That's just an accent. It really only appears in the song 4 times. It comes in the middle of the hook. And the very last sound was this sound effect. Every 8 bars. This sound effect kind of lets the listener know, like, we're into the next section. It's something I like to call it creating movement. Like, once you create the bounce within a pattern, you got the core of the beat. Now you got to make the music build. You got to make the music move. So I find arrangement is very important. If you're a good arranger, you could really create a lot of movement with very little. I tried to put my mind into gear to make Lil Pump type beats. Like right when that bass drops, I have to be able to picture Pump on stage, like with the water bottles, like. All right, so we finished the beat in Fruity Loop. I exported the track outs and recorded right over the stems to have full control of everything. So the beat's tracked out, we loaded it into Pro Tools, here it is. So the vocals, I actually recorded them through an aux track. The plugin chain for the vocals is the RComp, SSL channel strip, and a de-esser. There's literally absolutely no EQ on the vocal at all. It was just a proper vocal tone. I had the mic set up right. I had them on the mic right. I'll solo the lead vocal of the hook.
Only way to sign is Esketit. Hopping out the rave for Esketit. Smashing on your bitch, Esketit.
That's dry. With the delay and the reverb, it kind of makes it a little more spacey, but it's very low and very subtle. Here's my delay setting. It's an H delay, super low feedback, super filtered. My reverb setting is just a deverb, 1.7 decay time. I put a 1-band EQ to take out some of the mud of the reverb afterwards.
Only way to sign is Esketit. Hopping out the rave for Esketit. Smashing on your bitch, Esketit. Run to the check with no limit.
I had no idea what he was gonna rap about. It wasn't until he started recording. and it was a combination of him writing and freestyling. He knows what he's doing. He's got a method that gets it done, so I kind of just stay out the way until he's ready. And then I mastered it right here in the session. I didn't know we were making the single. I was just doing something quick to get the job done and get the MP3 emailed to his phone. I find a lot of producers overdo everything. They're over EQing, compressing, reverb, delay. Like, they're really just mangling and destroying all the sounds in their beats by adding all these effects. And it kind of takes away the soul, and it's just going to make everything like mushy and blend together. Like, I like my stuff to be just pure and like wide open. It's really so overly simple. Nothing's overthought, and there's no complex melodies or sounds or mixing techniques with it at all. It's just super basic, is what it is. And I think that's the greatest records in the world are just really musically simple.
Only way to sign is Esketit. Bumping out the rave for Esketit. Smashing on that bitch, Esketit. Running the check with no limit.
Shout out my boy Smiles. Rest in peace, Smiles. Without Smiles, there would be no Esketit.